Hi there, this is Melinda with raw-wisdom.com, and today is day 90, no, couldn't be 90, maybe 89, it's 90 of the Juice Feast, and I'm almost done. So we went to see the debates, so I'm putting up a few more debate videos for your pleasure. I'm using a ZX1, Kodak ZX1, and I'm learning how to use this. It's a little different than my flip. I actually like the flip better. But at any rate, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Okay, there was another question back. Yes.
I live in the center city, and there's widespread concern that the proportion of homes or housing that is rental versus owner-occupied may be increasing, and that would be detrimental. Could you speak to what you would do in terms of government policy to prevent the increasing profitability of rentals at these, so they're pricing owner-occupied houses out of the market? Particularly, could you speak to the new proposed zoning code?
First of all, I believe the moratorium is still in effect. Is that correct? In the meantime, the comprehensive plan called for review of the zoning ordinances, and that's now underway. There's a task force working on that. The code regarding the definition of families and all that sort of thing was unanimously adopted by the city in the spring. Waiting until the zoning task force makes its recommendations, from my perspective, is the appropriate short-term step. I think if you look beyond that, you have to look at the underlying economics. I spent some time last week, as I was rapping on doors, talking to a landlord who was raking leaves in front of one of his properties. And he complained to me that the price of properties was so high, he couldn't buy a property and make money on it from a rental perspective. That said to me, the laws of supply and demand are working here. The demand for more houses to be converted economically doesn't exist. Therefore, they won't be converted. Because you and I are neighbors, and we live in a blended neighborhood, and I celebrate the blending of our neighborhood. I love the students that are around us. I don't particularly want more students around me, but I love the ones that are there. I think we can have blended neighborhoods. I don't like the idea of neighborhoods that are 100% students. I don't think that's good for the students or good for property values. And I think the mechanism, the next step is the zoning task force. Eric's working on that. There was some guidance to it from the comprehensive plan, and I think the system is working, is I guess the best way I can say that.
Jason.
There's a frightening statistic right now that there's about 4,000 homes, but only 1,000 are actually occupied by residents who live in the community. When 1/4 of all of our homes are occupied by members of the community who live here, and 3/4 are elsewhere, it's sad in the fact that we clearly do not have people here taking responsibility and being held accountable for the upkeep of their homes. However, for the people that are here, for the people that are successful in renting out their homes to students or to other individuals who need to rent out an apartment, we need to promote their rights as well. There is a call for reintroducing lawful legislation, and it's based off of our state and federal constitution. Our current legislation disenfranchises a lot of significant groups, whether you're a part of the gay community, whether you're part of the city's paratransit passengers, whether you're part of the city's elderly community. It really does single out a lot of your rights, and it forces you to do a lot of things that just aren't called for upon state legislation. The proposal that I sent to the Common Council and to Mayor John Nader, that was adopted by a national certified renters' right organizations, and they're using my proposal right now across the country as a means to guide other and future legislation based on the compromise that I have come up with. We need to understand that our local property owners are basic entrepreneurs, and if we're not promoting their rights, then we're not promoting the ability to command a stable, ensuring economy for the future. So first and foremost, we have to make sure that our legislation is lawful according to state and federal constitution guidelines. And we have to make sure that all of our needs, not just students, not just property owners, all of our needs are being addressed and met. That's it. Thank you.
I guess the first place for me to start is just reiterating the fact that students are city residents, just as any other renter, from faculty to staff at a hospital to a city worker. We're all, they're all rentals that deserve and are entitled to the exact same rights. The issue here comes down to how do we keep our single-family housing stock. This is how I'm taking the question, Marilyn. Hopefully it's correct. How do we keep our single-family housing stock intact so that it's not chopped up into multiple family units, so that it's it still has its historic character and neighborhoods still feel like neighborhoods. There's no reason why a rental property should look any different than any other single-family property. It comes down to property maintenance. And for the last 20 months, we have codes on the books. The reality is, even with the best laws on the books, without enforcement, it doesn't make much of a difference. But we do have regulations on the books to deal with property maintenance. And if a lot of these rental properties from the outside still only had one mailbox, didn't have signs plastered on them, no peeling paint, mowed their lawns, didn't have solo cups on their lawn, would it be that much of an issue? And if we as single-family residents actually walked over and said hello every once in a while and invited them, made them feel as part of the community, would it be such an issue? The reality here is, the problem keeps coming back to historic housing stock being chopped up into rental units. That's a problem. It's a huge problem because it's hard to have them come back. I'm getting close on time, but we're looking right now at zoning, and the idea is we want to attract young families to the city to purchase single-family houses. But we have to make incentives in order to make that happen. We're trying to keep some of the older residents in these older houses by providing grant funds to do such. I think the new zoning regulations that we are looking at first of the year in that neighborhood will have some protections for preserving single-family housing stock throughout our city.
Can I have 10 seconds? It would only be fair. Right? 2 points, and I'm sure Jason and Eric have experienced the same thing. As you go door to door, you see rented properties that are in terrific condition, and you see rented properties that are in abysmal condition. Mr. Battalion and Mr. Clark, Peter Clark, do a terrific job with your properties, and I compliment you on it. That's not true of all landlords. You go to individual homes that are occupied by owners that are in terrific condition and that are in abysmal condition. And you can throw a 100-yard circle around our neighborhood and see a little bit of both. We need to work together. We need to find ways to encourage landlords to upgrade not only the internal condition of their properties, but the external appearance. And we have to find ways to encourage individual homeowners who live in their properties to improve their properties as well. And that may mean volunteer support, it may mean some sort of special funding, and thank you very much.
Somebody else need to follow up? No.